Welcome to the Cartoons and Vodka podcast, the very first episode. My name is Jess.
I'm Will.
And I'm Maggie.
Somewhere in the distance, you can hear a crazy cat lady. Sorry. You can hear a crazy cat lady.
I couldn't contain myself. I tried to sound really hey, I'm Maggie.
And I heard nothing.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm slowly.
I'm gonna put this at the end. The Cartoons and Vodka podcast. My name is Jess.
This is Will.
And I'm Maggie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hooray!
Yay!
That took us it took us 5 times. I already abandoned hope.
Oh, I'm sorry. My daughter's crying in the background.
Fun fact: Maggie is a negligent parent
to a black cat. Well, okay. The other one is legally emancipated because she hates my guts. So
I wouldn't say kicking your daughter out of the family is legally emancipating her, but sure.
I mean, it worked for my parents.
There you go. So
yeah, in case you haven't noticed, this is a cartoon podcast
where we have not talked about cartoons once. But for context, me and Maggie have known each other since high school, and then me and Will met online, and he has not proven to be a catfish yet, so.
Hey, what's wrong with them catfish? They's good fish. They's tasty eating.
It's all good until you end up on MTV.
That was, okay.
What's an MTV?
Fun fact, Jess and I actually had a plot to get on MTV 4 years ago.
Oh god. I wouldn't call it a plot so much as a really bad idea that we had.
That's the same thing.
Hey, it can't be worse than mine, which is to reboot Jackass.
Oh god. I mean, you could do it now. There's plenty of space now because of quarantine. Yeah. Speaking of quarantine...
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Speaking of quarantine, that gives us plenty of time to watch TV shows. Yeah. And our today's topic is about TV shows we can watch while we are stuck in legal lockdown due to a terrifying plague invading the planet.
What a peaceful time to be alive.
I love experiencing my own black plague.
Hell world.
Yeah. This has been the worst apocalypse ever. Nobody's wearing fetish gear. There are no motorcycles running outside. I ain't even gotten to use my machete once.
I have my machete right here. I have my machete right here.
I have a bunch of machetes.
I have one. I own one.
Okay, I have an excuse to own machetes because I'm a redneck who lives in the middle of nowhere. Why the hell do you have a machete, Jess?
It was a birthday gift.
Yeah,
I wish that was a joke. It was an actual birthday gift. I didn't ask for it. I didn't know he was actually going to buy me a machete.
You don't just tell someone that you want a machete and not me.
I didn't tell him. He's like, hey, I'm at Walmart. Look what I found. I'm like, yes, get me a machete. I want one. Thinking, he's not actually going to buy me a machete. Little did I know he was going to actually do it. So, thank you, Jake, for the machete.
What's the topic we had?
We did. This is gonna end up in the blooper reel, but
yeah, right.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what shows So, as for cartoons you can watch during your quarantine when you're bored, why not become a closeted furry and watch Beastars?
Nerd.
Beastars is it's genuinely very good, but it's also very short. I watched it all in one morning.
It's even worse than being a nerd. Furry. Ew.
Furries aren't, I don't have the same hatred for furries that most people do. Mine's just kind of hey, do what you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Just for the record, I do not actually hate furries. The joke is just too easy.
There you go.
Haha, very funny.
I was gonna say, I'm kind of shocked that hating furries has lasted this long. You would think it'd wear off, but nope.
I thought people
if Sonic can somehow make a decent movie, the world has no reason to make sense.
I thought people just hated furries because of furry porn.
I think so. I think it just makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But personally, my theory is if you like any media or show that involves anthropomorphic animals, then you are at least to some extent a furry.
Huh.
I'm a furry because I like Looney Tunes?
I was about to say, then literally all kids are furries, then, by that logic.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That means we were all furries.
But, yeah, Beastars...
Thanks, Mag.
Sorry.
Beastars... Okay, Beastars is a very good anime that's basically Zootopia, but bloody and sexual. And it's...
So Zootopia.
Not the one you watched. I'm concerned about the one you watched. But
wait, there's multiple versions?
There's
you've never seen the Machete Cut?
No.
There's the special comic someone made about Nick and Judy having an abortion.
Oh my God.
I think it was really just Judy having an abortion.
That's true. That's true. Then Nick was really upset about it and felt betrayed. But
I don't even want to know how that would work to where it would even get to the point where that is a question of something that needed to happen.
I don't know. Thinking about it now, there's a lot of, if you were a furry and you're bored and you never had time to binge watch, Netflix has got you covered because it's got like at least 3 good shows on there that you can watch. You have Gretzko, BoJack, and Beastars now.
Gretzko, such a good show.
I would say unless you are in a position in which you are getting out of your house regularly, do not binge watch BoJack Horseman while on quarantine. You will not be well by the end of it. Or just watch it either one episode a day or one season a week. Because if you watch more than that, you're going to end up really sad and just kind of going through it for a while.
Oh, God. There's a reason I've avoided that show.
It's good. It's so good. But I do not recommend it if you are someone
Grave of the Fireflies is good, but I watch it because I don't want to be depressed.
I don't watch Grave of the Fireflies because I don't want to see children die.
Anyway,
what do you guys recommend for quarantine binge watching fun times?
Well, going off the Netflix bandwagon, and if you're able to tolerate edgelordiness a little bit, I highly recommend Love, Death, and Robots, a great spiritual successor to the heavy metal type of cartoons.
Yeah, me and Maggie watched like a couple of episodes at her house one day, and it was really good.
Yeah, not all of them are the best.
They're not all gems, but you could easily rank them best to worst and still come out with something good.
There's more good than there is bad.
Yeah, I really like the different kinds of like art styles and the different genres and things. It makes it really interesting.
Yeah. I just miss anthology shows in general. So
you know what I need in my life? I need a stop motion show because I know there's the Real Akuma show, but I haven't really gotten around to watch that. But I need more stop motion in my life.
Well, there's always the remedy of that to make it yourself if you're that bored on quarantine.
Yeah.
Me 2 weeks later. Me 2 weeks later. Do you think a depressed person could make this? I have puppets. I have puppets from my day job that I still need to wash because my spring break fell into like the week before the schools got shut down. So I ended up keeping these puppets, and I am just always contemplating, should I just walk around and make videos about these things?
If Jeff Dunham can become a millionaire doing that, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, if not for me, then at least for the kids I work with, because I feel like they would really enjoy it, because they always... there's a monkey puppet, and that one is, I guess, officially mine, because anytime the morning kids come in, they're like, do the monkey! And the monkey voice is... the monkey voice is literally just my voice, pitched up slightly higher, and then making not adult jokes, but more jokes that kids don't understand. Because it literally goes like, I have shown up today, but I have not spoken to my lawyer. I am not contractually obligated to be here. You have not signed any of my contracts, and none of your payments went through. So this is all you're getting for now. That's literally the humor.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids love it. I don't know why, but they find it hilarious. They literally
Kids have the most wild senses of humor.
They spent the morning writing up contracts for the monkey.
Oh my god.
Are you sure you're working with kids and not pixies from Fairly Odd Parents?
No, they're kids.
That's like
pixies are not nearly as lively as my kids.
When I was in 4th grade, we used to have trials at recess.
Oh my god. I typed up a restraining order against my brother when I was like 9.
That is so respectable.
And my friend's mom was a lawyer, and I'm like, I was gonna ask her to make it official.
Oh, that's so cute.
Meanwhile, me and my friends played Dragon Ball Z and just beat the crap out of each other.
I wish I had friends.
I have a question. So,
back in the day when I had friends.
2 of my recommendations are not cartoons. Am I allowed to talk about them?
What is it?
2 of my recommendations are not cartoons. Am I allowed to talk about them?
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
It's a cartoon podcast only. No, you can't.
You can only discuss cartoons and alcohol.
God damn it. I didn't read my contract clearly.
You didn't get a contract. It was a cocktail.
You guys are getting contracts?
You guys are getting paid?
Okay, so I'd like to channel my friend Stefan from SNL. Rest in peace.
Oh my god. I like that he's dead.
This podcast can never die. Has everything.
Cartoons, alcohol, Stefan coming back from the dead.
Stop taking my bit. You're taking my bit. I didn't tell you.
If we make it to 50 episodes, we're getting Stefan on the podcast.
I'm the only one allowed to make Stefan bits, okay?
Alright.
This show has everything. A polygamous, libertarian, eccentric gay man with a mullet. Big cats, murder for hire, and gay and bisexual shenanigans. This is Tiger King on Netflix.
Oh god. I meant to watch that the other day.
I'm scared to watch that.
I don't know what it's about, but I know Colleen Ballinger was like, yeah, so we watched this Netflix documentary called Tiger King, and it was interesting. And I'm like, here's the thing. Right, I'll go watch it then.
It's horrifying, it's ridiculous, it's hilarious, and it's messed up.
Okay, perfect for me.
Aren't all the best things?
Yeah. Really? There's only 7 episodes, and it's like 45 minutes each, so you can get there pretty quickly.
I mean, I got nothing else to do. I'm just going to be bleaching and dyeing my hair today, so I'll do that. I'll watch that while I make my hair green.
Trigger warning for suicide and drug use, though.
Okay.
Nothing's, like, shown, but it's, like, talked about, so.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to be allowed to recommend stuff that isn't cartoons, and you want something that is definitely not Tiger King, on Netflix, watch Somebody Feed Phil. It's the most wholesome man on earth, traveling the world and sharing culture through food.
Aww.
The guy just happens to be the writer of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Huh.
Yeah.
In other terms of wholesome non-cartoon content, there is Barry Lewis's channel. It used to be called My Virgin Kitchen, and I watched it last year. I went through this whole binging thing because it's a British man. He's very pure, and he reviews like as seen on TV gadgets. He cooks like giant foods. He just makes a bunch of stuff, and he makes dad jokes the whole time. And I think one of the most interesting things is he will, when he's reviewing these kitchen gadgets, he's like, hey, don't leave any mean comments, because some people with like disabilities and who can't really do normal stuff in the kitchen can really find use out of these products. So just bear that in mind, which I thought was really cool, because I don't think anyone else really touches on that aspect of as seen on TV gadgets. Like, not even the commercials.
Yeah, other thing YouTube kitchen related, if you want to binge, binging with
Babish.
Yeah.
Or You Suck at Cooking. You Suck at Cooking is binging on Babish, but with more editing.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I have actually learned to cook a lot from binging with Babish.
Yeah, I would say Binging with Babish is a lot more educational, and then You Suck at Cooking is what you do if you already have some knowledge of how to cook.
Yeah.
And you just know, and you can just, like, grasp it from there.
Yeah.
But
I never thought the Eric Andre recipe would be what I actually learned to cook.
oh god.
I actually made the pizza ball.
That's such a large amount of pizza you have to use.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the actual pizza ball like in the show. It was one of the recipes he recommended after it.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's just...
No,
Okay,
I was not
then.
that.
You weren't gonna pull an iJustine and use just a bunch of food and not eat it.
Yeah. I eat what I make.
There you go. I mean, that's
Either
how I
that
learned
or
how
I
to
force
make...
people to.
I learned how to make so much pasta because of him, and I think my favorite is either the pasta, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the olive oil and garlic one from Chef, or the pasta carbonara. That's the one that I usually make for Christian, because that one has bacon in it, and it's not, it's really simple and quick to make.
Yeah. Also, speaking of binging with Babish and drinking, if this podcast lasts long enough for me to legally be able to drink, you can hold me to my word on this. I will drink the dock worker breakfast from The Wire on here.
Oh god.
Which is an egg and a beer.
How many years do you have until you're legally permitted to drink?
Next year.
Okay, so by the
Although
time
it's like
of your...
late next year.
Yeah, so I think by the time you're legally allowed to drink, I should have my own place, and I'm going to invite you to come in so we can film you and like make sure you are held to your word that you drink this.
Okay, I will do it on the condition that you two do too.
What is it?
I didn't agree to that. I'm gonna look it up. Let me see.
And just look up The Wire dock workers breakfast.
All right. Okay.
I already hate drinking, and I can't even do more than a shot, so this is going to be horrible.
Oh yeah, no, Maggie's exempt. I was gonna say Maggie's exempt due to not really being able to drink necessarily.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
I'm almost technically not supposed to be drinking.
Yeah, that was the other downside of this podcast.
To be fair,
not drinking on this podcast.
That was more meant for you and not for Maggie.
Oh, good. Is it just beer with an egg in it?
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Oh god, why is that? That's just two awful things. Raw eggs and beer.
Well, to be fair, it's from Baltimore. Everything there is awful.
All right. And I think after that horrible experience, I will make us Princess Peaches, and that'll help maybe remedy the issue. In case you're wondering what a Princess Peach is, it's my cocktail where it's just peach schnapps and lemonade. Oh wait, peach schnapps and Sprite, and then a Princess Daisy is that, but with lemonade.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. But back on the topic of cartoons, there's I would say watch the entirety of the 90s Steven Spielberg library of cartoons, but Freakazoid is not available on Hulu. So
what?
Yeah, no, I looked. They have Animaniacs, they have Tiny Toons, no Freakazoid. I haven't looked for Hysteria, but I also don't have Hysteria. I haven't watched it before.
Of course they don't have my favorite.
No. I still have most of that first episode thing where he goes off on the creep about turning beavers into gold memorized. Get out of here, because this is a happy place. I showed it to my mom because I thought it was so funny, and she started cracking up. But yeah, if you're like Maggie and just did not have a decent childhood, I would say watch Tiny Toons or Animaniacs. Get yourself educated.
I was too busy playing Power Rangers.
Somebody say Power Rangers.
I was too busy playing Power Rangers.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting inside glued to a TV screen just watching. No, the greatest advantage to working with kids and being able to have your phone on you technically is having them like slowly indoctrinating them into the library of They Might Be Giants, because I got them listening to The Sun, Istanbul, Dr. Worm, basically, and I haven't played Particle Man for them a lot, but it breaks up the in-betweens of listening to Frozen and Unity on repeat.
Oh God.
It's more Unity than anything, because by the time the kids that really like Frozen come in, I can't really play music due to noise pollution and that the severe number of kids that show up. So
Have you guys
Steven Universe ended?
Oh yeah, Steven Universe ended, and I have not caught up. I literally just watched it via Tumblr feed.
I have never watched more than 3 episodes of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like me and the same friend that got me the machete, we were watching it loyally for a good while, and then the scheduling got fucked up, and we never really got back into it.
That's not so much on you as much as it's on Cartoon Network.
I know, like it was like one of the few shows I still watched that was technically like I technically went to watch it on a physical TV, and then it just kind of got difficult, and watching it on Vimeo was kind of a pain in the butt, even though the rips weren't that bad, and I just kind of gave up.
Yeah,
I told myself like when it ends, I will binge watch it, even though parts of it is spoiled for me. I think I'll still get my enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I need to watch it from the beginning, but I just...
I would say do that and just kind of be patient, because like most shows, it's kind of slow to start and then get into it. Also, while on quarantine, you could watch a bunch of internet cartoons. You could watch the entirety of Hellsing Abridged.
Yeah.
And then impress all your local edgelord nerds.
And
with
some goths.
And some goths. I am both. With your
hey, Dandy Dick, you missed.
Hey kids, want to see a dead body? I swear. In certain circles, I will go through those lines for like 10 minutes with people, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Epithet Erased, if you're watching.
Oh, yeah. Also watch Epithet Erased. It's a very fun show. It is very, I would say, unique in the fact that it's not technically animated, but it's still animated to an extent. Also, the characters are great. The lines are hilarious.
Hello, officer. I'd like to go to jail.
Okay. Or don't be silly, Lady Mira. Forklifts have no honor. You will find I guarantee if you watch Epithet Erased, you'll have one character that ends up your favorite,
and you will die for them.
You will, and it's one season of, I want to say, like 7 to 9 episodes, but it feels like it's kind of 2 seasons merged into one, because you have the museum arc and then you have like the Western arc. Both are very
Cowboy.
Good. Yes, the cowboy voiced
Be
by
great at Cowboy.
Voiced by Jermaine from Foamy the Squirrel.
Yeah, I will die for Giovanni and Percy.
I would die for Giovanni, Indus, and Molly. Molly is me as a child. I slowly am realizing with just saying dark shit.
You didn't realize this before?
No, I didn't realize that. But thinking about it now, that's just my inner monologue as a 10-year-old. Like, I'm sure I can map out characters that I could relate to at different various ages. Trying to think. Also, you can watch Agretzko, which is also a very good show to watch on Netflix. It's got 2 seasons, and it's amazing. and Haida is the best boy around, and I want nothing but good things for him.
Okay, can we cut for a second?
Sure.
I'm going to recommend something on Netflix, but I just want you to beep it out after like the first syllable.
Oh God. All right.
And if you're truly depressed and looking for something on Netflix to go through, you can always watch Legendary Defense.
No! I don't want to bleep it out, but we need to have a whole discussion about Voltron, both scripted and unscripted, just about Voltron and the experience I was left with.
Even if the show was terrible, God, the experience of Voltron was something.
It's okay, so I'm just gonna say this now, and I'm gonna probably keep bleeping this out. Voltron is not a bad show at the beginning. It just slowly
it was a great show at the beginning.
It slowly dawns on you what a mess it's becoming. You can see the production unravel.
The first 3 or so seasons, I still occasionally go back and watch.
I haven't. It hurts too much. It's like dealing with an ex that you have to see at parties, and you just kind of walk around the other corner and avoid them as much as you can. Whatever you can do to not make eye contact.
Fair. But if we're gonna actually talk about good stuff on Netflix, She-Ra and the Dragon Prince.
I need to catch up with Dragon Prince. She-Ra is great. It's about to end very soon, so you'll have time to catch up with the whole thing. We'll probably still be on quarantine by the time the finale is out.
Although apparently Netflix is doing a He-Man show with Kevin Smith leading it.
Oh wow!
I want to be excited. Like the part of me that remembers '90s Kevin Smith is excited. The part of me that knows Kevin Smith now just sits in the corner, just staring out into the abyss. Also, you can watch Clerks and Clerks 2 if you have that on you.
And Clerks Animated.
Yeah, if you have 5 minutes, you can watch the entirety of the Clerks animated series.
That doesn't hurt to say at all.
I have it on DVD. I haven't gotten around to watching it.
Dude, I don't just have it on DVD. I have it signed by Brian O'Halloran, and I got it signed by freaking Dante.
If I ever meet Jeff Anderson, I'm having him sign everything I own.
Yeah, apparently Jeff Anderson is doing a lot more cons now.
Huh, that's cool.
Well, was before the world decided to end.
It's not ending just yet. I mean, well, actually, never mind. I take it back. Waffle House is closed. The world's kind of over. Yeah, no. Christian does not eat at Waffle House at all, but I explained to him the Waffle House index, and yesterday he's looking it up, and he's like, oh, they closed 350 stores. He turns around, looks at me, and says, so, the world is doomed. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
When the Waffle House lights are closed or off, you know you're
Pick
doomed.
a deity and start praying.
There you go. Also, fun fact that I recently discovered: you can watch a bunch of movie theater movies on Amazon if you have Prime. You will have to pay. You will have to pay like $20 for certain movies because they don't have it for rental yet, but you do get to keep the copy. So I did that with Onward. And I don't fully regret it. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it got tears out of me. I feel like it didn't earn, but it yanked them out anyway.
It's Pixar. It's gonna get tears out of you no matter what.
I was so mad because I felt the tears drip down my face, and I'm like, you haven't earned it. I am not emotionally invested in these people. Why am I crying?
So Toy Story 4 was the thing.
I haven't seen Toy Story 4, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to it. It has Tony Hale, and by law, I should be watching anything involving Arrested Development cast member, but I just haven't.
Here's the best. Also, this might get a little bit of flack from Star Wars fans, but here's my thing on Toy Story 4. It's like Pixar's Solo. By all means, it should not exist. But for what it is,
it's good and enjoyable.
It's a nice way to kill 2 hours or an hour and a half.
I mean, that's good. I didn't have my doubts it wasn't going to be like it wasn't something I was worried about. Even with like Monsters U, I still enjoyed that.
Yeah.
You know, it was not the sequel anyone wanted. No one wanted a Monsters University.
Also, that And looking back, I realized that directly contradicts Monsters, Inc., where they said Mike and Sully knew each other from the 4th grade.
Yeah, the allure for that isn't really airtight.
Yeah.
Or stay with me here. They did know each other in the 4th grade, but there was a government cover-up, and they just erased
the Men in Black, the Monsters in Black showed up.
I don't make memes very often, but I'm so proud of the one I made where it's like whenever someone sneezes in an airport now, and it's just we have a 2319.
God. But the second I said that, I had the mental image of the cleanup crew monsters still in the yellow suits, but just in like a Men in Black suit over them.
Oh my god. That's perfect. Their memories are erased. All the kids are separated.
Speaking of Men in Black, the cartoon.
I have not watched it, so I'm going to let you handle that one.
It's just cool. That's all I can say. It has that style, man. That 90s style that they don't have anymore.
I think growing up, I never saw it on TV, so whenever anyone mentioned it, like, in passing, like my cousins or my sister or someone, I was like, I don't know if that's actually true or if that exists, because I never saw it on TV, I never heard about it. Like, I'd seen the movies for the most part. So.
I mean, who hadn't?
Like, I have
either saw that movie or heard that song.
Oh god. I have vague memories of watching Men in Black 2 just kind of at my parents' friend's house and just kind of running in and out.
Men in Black 2, the reason I have a fear of war.
No, I remember thinking the alien lady was like really pretty, and then I think a tentacle shot out of her mouth and she was like injecting it into someone's head through their ear.
Yeah, that was Johnny Knoxville.
Oh my god. But yeah,
so
I remember that.
God. There's nothing like going back to weird movies from the early 2000s and realizing Johnny Knoxville was them.
Oh my god, no, my family watched Bad Grandpa together and I had no interest in watching it. So I sat at the little dining room table while they watched it and I just hear groans and laughter and like, oh god. And I'm like, I made the right decision.
Yeah. I'll admit, you have to have an acquired taste for anything from Jackass.
Yeah, that's
I think it was just the awkwardness of watching anything rated R with my family at that point. I just wasn't ready. Meanwhile, like maybe that same year, I watched Clerks 2 with my mom and her friends. My mom, not at all invested in the Clerks series at all. And then the donkey show shows up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the bathroom. And
that reminds me of watching Deadpool with my mom.
My stepmom saw it and she's like, Jessica, it was horrible. There was so much violence and cursing. And I'm like, yeah.
The first one. God, show her the first one.
No, she saw the first one. That's the one she watched.
Oh.
Her relationship with vulgar stuff is kind of on and off. I think it just depends on her mood. Because sometimes she doesn't like it. Sometimes it's like the conversations we have had at dinner. Good lord. You can also watch Birds of Prey on Amazon.
Oh, what about that Harley Quinn show?
Oh, if you have, I
mean, of course, it requires having DC.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost worth getting a DC membership. Almost. I don't know how much it costs. Let me see how much it costs because I might do a free trial.
Just do a free trial to binge it and Doom Patrol. Yeah. Apparently the Doom Patrol show is actually awesome.
I feel like you've told me that before, and I just haven't really gotten around to it.
But come on, it has Brendan Fraser.
I know it has Brendan Fraser. Okay, it's $7.99 a month for DC Universe.
Not as bad as HBO Go.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost worth it. Also, if you have Disney Plus, watch DuckTales.
Woohoo!
I am steadily... My sister ended the membership. I need to get it back. But I was slowly but surely making my way through DuckTales. Not because I wasn't interested. I suck at binge watching shows and staying committed.
Yeah.
But it has David Tennant in it.
As Scrooge McDuck using his natural accent.
And that's my only argument. Listen to David Tennant with his Scottish accent and live.
Also, fun fact, the How to Train Your Dragon audiobooks are all narrated by David Tennant, and I do believe quite a few are on YouTube.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Audible, David Tennant. I like that you all were just totally fine with me abandoning this podcast just to listen to a Scottish man, not even see his face, just to listen.
I mean, to be fair, it's David Tennant.
Yeah. I think one of the few people that my boyfriend has to actually be concerned about me leaving him for is David Tennant. Although watching Jessica Jones is very awkward and uncomfortable. Yeah. It's because, hearing him threateningly say the name Jessica over and over again.
Isn't that your kink, Jess?
I was hoping I wouldn't get called out.
We are not a kink-shaming podcast yet.
Thank you. Yes.
Jess literally sits there with her phone and records every instance of when he says Jessica, just so she can replay it before she goes to bed. She plays it for her boyfriend and is like, you need to sound exactly like this when not.
Now, ma'am, this here's a family-friendly podcast.
It's not, but I'm going to probably have to cut that part out.
Just bleep it.
Now, you see, I have never recorded something that you cannot play in church.
Give me one second. Okay.
Just bleep it.
So welcome back, folks.
I'm sorry. I was really quiet for a while, and I was saving up. I was hoping I could jump in at some point. And then
you did.
I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm losing momentum. Oh, the momentum is gone. Okay, I'm just going to sit here.
Aw, no, you're good.
Aww.
Also, if you have some free time and you want to laugh your butt off and get very emotionally invested in something that might not be updated again for a couple years, you can watch Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I forgot the name of Has Been Hotel. I just had Hell of a Boss stuck in my head.
Very good shows.
They are very good. They have a lot of passion put into them. I would say Hell of a Boss is a lot more of an internet, like it's very clearly meant for the internet, while Has Been Hotel is more of
clearly a pilot.
Yes.
It feels weird even calling
Hell of a
it
Boss
show.
I was gonna say Hell of a Boss is a lot more. Hell of a Boss is gonna make you laugh more outright, while Has Been Hotel is gonna try to get you invested in these characters, and hopefully one day it'll get picked up and we will see more of them.
Yeah.
And I won't desperately have to listen to the Honeycast and just hope for the best.
And what can you do, my effeminate fellow?
I can suck your dick.
Wow, Jess, you got mad at what I said.
I'm mad at myself because my family's home and they're probably going to have no context for that. Actually, my dad's downstairs on the phone. Hopefully, I'm not worried about my brother, but my dad's downstairs. So hopefully that won't negatively affect anything. If my parents somehow get a hold of this podcast, I promise I am a pure person.
Mm-hmm. If my parents do, they already know I'm an asshole.
No comment.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. I tragically am not on Netflix very often. I'm more of a YouTube person, so I'm pretty good at recommending like just straight up 5-minute videos and stuff like that. Also, if you want to watch a good anime and you're like at least a level 2 weeb, you can watch Ouran High School Host Club.
Oh my god.
Which was my gateway anime.
Yeah, literally that's how Jess and I like became friends, is because we were walking to Quick Trip from a play rehearsal, and she just started talking about this anime, and I was like, oh my god, I've seen that. She's like, oh my god, we need to watch it together. And I was like, oh my god, are we friends?
No, that's misleading, because here's what happened. I was friends with someone, my friends freshman year were both sophomores and juniors, so they looked at me and they said, yeah, you're going to be alone in like 3 years, so we're going to find you a friend in your own grade level. And then they're like, here, there's Maggie, make friends with her. And then we started walking a quick trip, and we became friends like officially a year later.
I mean, like, it's such a compliment when people recommend you, like, oh my god.
They just set me up
to the academy, and I want to thank my mom and God.
They just set me up with the coolest freshman they could find. That was...
Aww.
And then we ended up having so much in common. That was honestly perfect.
This is the nicest you've been to me in like 8 years.
It's actually, I think we're nearing up. Next year we'll be at 10 years.
No.
Aww.
Yeah, and 10, like, it would have been 10, about 10 years more or less that we officially became like best friends and actually started hanging out regularly. And I think, and that's like, in my book, that's either a successful marriage or halfway to a divorce.
We've been
both.
Or both.
Jess and I have renewed our divorce every year since we got divorced. We have a party. Sometimes it's a luau. You know, switch it up.
I pick up another mistress. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time I went to a funeral directors convention that was luau themed.
That sounds amazing.
It actually was.
That sounds amazing.
That's not a joke either.
I'm just imagining these people, these old men in suits with leis around them, holding coconuts and just having a great old time.
No, they had to full out the whole pig and everything.
Oh my god.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Get your suckling pig and then go look at the prices on caskets.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would also say, if you are in the market for something that is technically not legal but still available to you, you can watch a bunch of Broadway bootlegs.
Yeah.
Or find your nearest Broadway nerd and just beg them through DMs to get you some bootlegs.
Hey, yo, I heard you want that Les Mis shit. I can hook you up.
Don't get freaking Les Mis. Get something exciting. Get you can get Mean Girls so easily.
Excuse me, are you calling Les Mis not exciting?
This is getting real.
Yes.
I'm about to throw hands through this computer.
I have the Beetlejuice Broadway bootleg on my computer, and I can't find it on YouTube. Otherwise, I'd recommend that. But
also, another random fun fact about an actor I know: a guy from my hometown is part of the ensemble in Beetlejuice.
Nice.
It's also very cool. Except now it's both closing and then Broadway shut down, which I think is really just some revenge from the gods for that whole tragedy.
What did we do to deserve this?
I want to do a whole video about the differences between Broadway musicals and the movies they're based on, and also how necessary the Mean Girls, the musical, the movie is going to be.
Prepare to hear me if you do that and I'm part of it, prepare to hear me complain about Russell Crowe's singing a lot.
Oh god, that's like a reverse situation, because that's just. But that could work.
I love the Les Mis movie, but I will still just stand by that. God, Russell Crowe's. It's not that Russell Crowe can't sing. It's that Russell Crowe cannot sing that way.
Yeah.
He's not made for a musical like Les Mis.
Hey, remember that time Doug Walker made a whole musical review many times?
Don't speak of that.
I like that how horrible Channel Awesome was kind of like an open secret. People were aware of it, and then it just finally came down on their heads.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over at the Angry Video Game Nerd,
everyone's fine. James Rolfe is still hailed as a god. I mean,
because he is.
I want to say deservingly, because I haven't heard jack squat about him being like a bad boss or a bad person.
Yeah, no, he's just a nice guy.
Who just plays a very angry man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have heard no bad things about James Rolfe.
Oh my.
Also, you can watch a bunch of YouTube channels and get caught up on their stuff. You can watch Fact Fiend and
your favorite British twunk.
I have a lot of those, but Carl Smallwood's the most not
very poorly named.
Not achievable, but the most accessible. There we go.
Yeah.
Just
something tells me his name. Yeah. Although something tells me that name isn't accurate.
Shows that I would like to recommend, but I honestly can't due to just the kind of difficulty from accessing it. Doctor Who, you could easily catch up on Doctor Who, but that is not on Netflix.
X-Files theme, didn't I?
You did. I was just gonna let it go.
God,
we're gonna get copyright struck.
But yeah, you can watch Doctor Who and pick out a favorite Doctor. You can start from like 2005, or you can start from the very, very beginning, like I was foolishly going to attempt. No. Speaking of foolishly attempting to watch long-running series, my brother is trying to get through all of One Piece. Or he was when his spring break started. Now we're in quarantine. I have no idea how far he's gotten. Last time I asked, he was on like episode 187 of 900 something episodes.
Wow.
I don't know. I think it's just an achievement thing for him. I don't think he's really invested so much as just like being able to say he did it.
That is not so valiant.
That is fair. Although if you really want to try and get through something a lot, you can always go back to the original Gundam and start from there.
Well, it just needs new Gundam friends. Or if you just want like some barely any knowledge of Gundam, but you want some mentions of it, you can watch Sergeant Frog, which is also very long running. I need to watch Sergeant Frog. I miss it.
God, my hobby store always has like 1 or 2 Sergeant Frog kits next to the Gundam ones, and I just... I will get you one day, but I am not that bored, and there are so many other better kits over there.
Out of Sabers, I found a freaking, like a Sergeant Frog CD. It was in Japanese. I didn't know what it was. I think it was like a music CD, and I'm like, I want to buy it purely for the fact that it exists. But I also don't need it. I'm not going to listen to it. There's no point in me buying it if I don't understand any of the words.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention, it was possibly region locked. Like my Bullet in the Bibles DVD, which I have never been able to watch, ever. I just want to watch Billy Joe Armstrong. Is that too much to ask? I will figure out how to make it work one day.
Which one was Bullet on Bible?
Milton Keynes.
God, I'm trying to remember which was the documentary about the making of American Idiot.
I want to say that would be Cigarettes and Valentines, maybe?
No, Cigarettes and Valentines was his own thing, I think.
I don't know.
Google.
I got a Quattro. Not Quattro. Yeah, I got Quattro, which turned out to just be like a DVD. Not quite a documentary, but just like a DVD of them messing around and stuff. And I don't regret it, but I also feel like I didn't need to buy that. Because I haven't watched it in like years. Also, there's a bunch of animated movies you can watch on Netflix. Like, watch Spider-Verse and finally catch up to why everyone else was so excited about it.
Spider-Verse is such a good fucking movie, and the movie is so
Heart
good.
Like a Hand Grenade, that was the name of it.
There we go. But
I know because it randomly showed up on TV once, and it has never left since.
But
sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. But Spider-Verse is really good. I have never smiled so wide in a movie theater before. Well, I have, but it just was consistent. I was having so much fun with it.
Oh yeah, God. The one thing I hate is that I never saw that in 3D.
You know what? Yeah, it probably would have been a good idea. But I think Peter Parker, I went from being really hesitant to him probably being my favorite version of Peter Parker, and then Tom Holland being a very close second. Because Tom Holland is still, like, probably the most Peter Parker looking in age. He looks like he could be Peter. If not for the fact that he's a little too handsome. He needs to be like 10% nerdier. And then we're good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other animated movies. There's plenty of animated movies on Netflix, and I'm definitely not.
Even though it's not Christmas anymore.
You want to know what the local radio station is doing for the past over a week? Playing Christmas music.
That sounds terrible. Literally
to raise people's optimism. They're like, here, we're playing Christmas music. And all I could think was,
that would make me want to cut my eardrums out.
I'm like, this wouldn't be so bad if not for the fact that it's 80 degrees and it was snowing last week. Last week when it was snowing and it was like white outside, sure, I'd be down for listening to Christmas music. I was already contemplating it. But now it is sunny. It is 80 degrees. The trees have life again. I have no interest in doing this.
Go off, Jess. Go off.
I'm going to look at Netflix and try to remind myself what's on there because
Green Eggs and Ham.
I have not watched Green Eggs and Ham, but I do plan to, Sam. I am.
Seriously, it is the most adorable show I have ever watched.
I will get there eventually.
It is just so bizarre to see a modern show based on Dr. Seuss, modern anything based on Dr. Seuss that actually keeps the spirit of Dr. Seuss.
Which is great. Like, there's not really a lot you can watch Dr. Seuss-wise that maintains any real quality, which, I mean, depending on how you feel about it, there is the live-action Grinch movie.
Yeah, take it or leave it.
I was going to say, that depends on you and how you want to view it, because I have not watched it in a couple years, but I honestly feel like I would enjoy it. I'm going to see if Megamind is on Netflix.
I'm pretty sure it was a while ago.
It's not, but Hotel Transylvania 3 is on there, so I'm going to watch that soon.
I have never watched any of the Hotel Transylvania movies.
I would say do not get your hopes up in terms of jokes, but I would say if you want to watch some good animation, I would go with that.
It's Adam Sandler. I never have my hopes up for jokes.
Go off.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say watch it for good animation. Just don't watch it for much else unless you have a kid.
Yeah. Didn't Genndy Tartakovsky have something to do with it?
He did. He was the director, I think, for all but... Yeah, he was the director for all three of them.
Huh.
Let's see. What else we got?
Speaking of...
They saw Princess and the Frog on Netflix, and they have the very classic, beloved animated movie, Space Jam.
That is just... I love that film so much. It is just a piece of art. It's probably one of the greatest art films of our time.
I would say if you grew up with it, watch it. If you didn't, do not. You're not going to enjoy it as much as someone with nostalgia goggles, hardcore pressed against their eyes.
Just know, you will believe you can fly.
It also helps because I grew up.
You believe you can touch the sky.
It helps.
You'll
I also
think about it every night and day. You'll spread your wings and fly away. You'll believe you can soar. You'll see you running out that open door. You'll believe you can fly. You'll believe you can fly.
There we go.
Well,
I was gonna say.
I am sorry I forced you to sit through that.
It's fine. I was trying to talk. I was gonna try to talk over it and keep going, but I couldn't. I was laughing too hard. But it does help when you grow up watching Space Jam, being surrounded by your dad's Michael Jordan memorabilia. Literally cups and plates with Michael Jordan's face on it. That was my home decor as a kid.
Nice.
So I just kind of grew up knowing who Michael Jordan was as a constant presence.
Was it Michael Jordan that was in that Sports Stars cartoon with Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Not Cartoon All Stars. It was a Power something, Team something.
Yeah,
I forget. But
I just know it as the cartoon with Wayne Gretzky in it.
I know it as that one cartoon people sometimes talk about as not being super great.
I remember Wayne Gretzky being in it.
I would also say if you need to look up some like kind of obscure cartoons and you want it to be quality, I'd recommend CR's channel, Familiar Faces. That's always like that was really one of my favorite channels in high school. And he does episodes every once in a while. It's not as often. He usually does Artcast now, but there's plenty of episodes to go off of that he has uploaded on YouTube. Just heads up though, he was Channel Awesome affiliated, so there will be mentions. There will be mentions of certain bald.
He who shall not be named.
I like that everyone went from wow, Channel Awesome is great. I want to work for them to stay away.
No.
Not you. Stay back. Doug Walker just trying his hardest to find
he who
someone
shall
to
not be named.
Just trying his hardest to find someone to collaborate with, and no one wants to touch that with a 20-foot pole.
Although, if you want something good to watch on YouTube, Lost in Adaptation.
Lost in Adaptation is great. Also another British twonk that's fun to watch and listen to. No, well, have you seen his Twitter? He has so many selfies that
I have not seen his Twitter because I don't have a Twitter because I avoid Twitter.
So, if you want to look at a British man's selfies and gym selfies, I would say go on his Twitter.
If you want to listen to him bitch about book adaptations, go to his YouTube.
They are very entertaining book reviews. They are great.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of other YouTube channels I can recommend because I've been like I will go on random binges of certain channel types. And a lot of them have kind of changed their content or what they do. But Salty DK Dan is great. If you want to listen to something that's like this, but a little bit more composed. Or you can watch Rebel Taxi reviews. Those are always good.
Haven't we already recommended Pan today?
I don't think we recommend it. I don't think roasting is recommendation.
Okay, keep in mind this is Pan we're talking about.
That's true. You will leave it wanting to roast him.
But you'll love him all the same.
You will. You can also watch the Vampire. You can also watch the Vampire series of music videos, which is basically it starts off with a night, which if you're like me, you got recommended nonstop for a while until someone you actually knew recommended it. And it's like it started off as a school project for an animator, and then it slowly snowballed into this little series of music videos or clips, as she calls them, about these two vampires just kind of dueling it out.
Yeah.
So if you like Voltaire,
this is why you make sure who you know who you're kidnapping before you kidnap them and turn them into a vampire.
I don't think she even knew she was gonna be able to do all this stuff that she does, but it's very entertaining.
Fair.
Let's see. I want to see something really.
Oh, there's also Dead Meat.
Oh yeah, there's also Dead Meat. If you want really cheerful dudes discussing body counts in horror movies.
Glory score.
Then watch that. James A. Janice is just a very happy-go-lucky dude.
Also, listen to his podcast. It's great.
I have not listened to his podcast.
It's him and his fiance just talking about horror movies.
Yeah, I
It's
wasn't sure if they got
adorable.
married or not.
Yeah, they're engaged. If I remember right.
I think so, because I know they weren't married. Also, watch Simply Nailogical if you want a YouTuber you can trust. You can watch Simply Nailogical because she's the type of YouTuber who's very honest and does not try to be an influencer. So she's great. She literally has paid off. She's from Canada, so she'll pay off Canadian tuition for people and like giveaways. And she encourages people to like stay in school. She's very like honest. She doesn't take sponsorships very often. And she still has like a second job because she still considers YouTube like a hobby.
She now has
Maggie, I'm currently singing the praises of Christine.
Christine, the Hollow Queen. We love her.
She is amazing.
Yeah, she's hilarious and like pretty down to earth and hardworking.
She also has a new podcast, which is fun because it's her and her boyfriend, and it's very chill. They're very cute together. Just because their relationship isn't very cutesy. It's just a very like, it's what a relationship should be. It's honest and it's still very loving and clearly very.
Yeah, like they're really respectful of each other and like their different ideas. And I don't know.
It cracks me up when I love when Ben goes off the walls and Christine has to be the voice of reason. It's great. Because Ben will say something sarcastic or he'll make a remark about some YouTube drama and you just hear her yell, Ben! No!
Yeah, because Ben gets like really shady. He gets like kind of petty and like...
He does.
Christine has to really rein him back in. Because he knows all the YouTube tea. And sometimes he spills it.
Yeah. Okay.
Are either you familiar with Outside Xbox?
I've watched a couple of their videos that have been recommended to me, but I haven't watched a lot of them.
Yeah, it's just snarky British people making jokes about video games. That's all it is. And it is enjoyable as it sounds.
Okay, dumb question because we have gotten off the topic of quarantine, stuff to watch on quarantine. Would you like to end the podcast here and then start another recording right after, just about a different topic?
That sounds fair.
All right.
What do you want to talk about?
Give me 1 second so I can make a note of this. All right. So I think since we've gotten so far off topic that I can no longer see it on the horizon, I'm going to call it quits for today. Thank you again for listening to our entire rambling podcast. My name is Jess.
I'm Will.
And I'm Maggie. Thanks for listening.
And that was Crazy Cat Lady.
We got it one time!
I'm the closer, baby. God. Hell yeah.
Welcome to the first episode of our podcast.
Yay, welcome.
My name is Jess. There's also Maggie and Will.
Hi.
Hello.
Why are we chat for like... No, I'm laughing because I like that we were chatting for like 5 to 10 minutes and we were finally getting like... Well, I felt more comfortable, and then I finally hit record, and I immediately, like, clam up.
I know,
Trust me, as one school year of media class, as one semester and one high school year of media classes has taught me, the second you put someone in front of a camera, they freeze.
Yeah.
Craig walks into a room,
something...
everyone stops talking.
So should we try that again?
We can. I can edit this part out, so... Alright.
Yeah.
Wait, at what order do we want to go in?
Alright, here, I'm gonna introduce it. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, I mean, if Jeff I speak English. I should know how to say this.
And so... It'll be like, look how many times it took. And that is also
We're gonna have a blooper reel.
Take a shot for every dead silence.
Yeah.
All right. Last time, Maggie, you have to say something.
Ironically enough, the Cartoons and Vodka podcast is gonna have a drinking game at the end of this.
Hold on. My daughter is at the door.
In a perfect world, I would be drinking during this podcast, not heavily, but just like have a little drink with me. But
yeah, and in a perfect world, I'd be Ireland and shit-faced.
Yeah, but it's noon, and all my stuff is downstairs, and I attempted to make what I was going to call an apple pie, which was already a good recipe, which is just apple juice and a shot of Fireball. And I just thought...
speaking of apple pie, I am living in Biddy's nightmare.
Oh god, is there just a bunch of pie or no butter?
No, I am stuck in my house with my parents, and I don't have a working oven!
Oh god!
Oh my god!
That actually does sound like a nightmare. You can't even bake shit.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I guess we have a toaster.
Literally, the only thing that works in that thing is the broiler.
Ah, damn. Alright, well, time to get inventive. Country boys make do.
Yep.
Alright, gonna try this one last time.
I'll say something at the end. I promise.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the...